Here we are again, Evolutionary TV, live on Facebook from Evolutionary Healer fan page, company page, with your host, Terry Earthwind Nichols, and
Linda Vetras Nichols.
Good evening again. We're going to continue our 12 days with more talk about fear tonight. Fear is just overwhelm in disguise. Think about that. Kind of interesting. Thoughts, Linda?
Well, I keep listening to the shots outside. There's guns going off. We have bears in the neighborhood. Like, oh no, poor bears.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have a client. One of my clients had a tendency to shut down when things started to bother her, and she'd kind of go into overwhelm. And now she's able to stay fully present. We've got a loose puppy on, or a puppy on the loose there.
That's what you get with live.
We're good. And another thing is afraid of what others are going to think. That's another reason to get into fear and then get ourselves into overwhelm. I had a client who would hide and not even go out to like restaurants, and she always hesitated to spend money on herself. And she came to realize that she had bought into the good girl syndrome, that she had even placed that thinking on her daughter as well, and that had clearly damaged their relationship. This client understood how the good girl syndrome allowed her to take advantage of, and how she would hold back and not speak her truth, be taken advantage of, and then she wouldn't speak her truth. She now understands that this syndrome came from her being afraid of what others may think if she did speak her truth. So that was interesting too. I'm pulling some information from my book, Sex and Money, Power of the Second Chakra, The Fully Embodied Woman, Perfect in Imperfection. What you got?
Well, actually, we're tagging on what we started last night, right? I hope you saw that recording, or you can see it again, certainly here on Evolutionary Healer. And what could happen with fear? Fear is overload, right? PTSD, I talked about last night, waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat with your loved one sitting on the floor beside you, protecting themselves from being hit by you because you have these horrendous night terrors. Well, nothing's broken there. There's nothing missing in what's going on in there. There is a driver that replicates what vibrations are going on and thoughts are going on in your life all of your life. So we found that there is this lost active block way back in early childhood that affects everything you do subsequent to that date. And then it multiplies as things go on. People grow up, they go through a sudden divorce. Anything can trigger PTSD, or the overwhelm is huge fear, and all of a sudden suicide starts looking pretty good. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? Me too. All right. I've had 10 toes on the side of the roof of a 28-story building before. One more step, but I'm here. Okay. I just turned around. That's a good story for another night. But we're talking about fear tonight and what it can do. For those of you who are watching with interest, you know what it does because you're looking for answers. And you don't need the next thing that's coming out of the psychotherapy world. Okay? We're non-medical question and answer sequence right here on the internet. Okay? You sitting in your nice, comfortable, secure place, and us doing the same. And we do it in 7 languages in 12 countries and 25 US states. So we know what we're doing, and we do it consistently every single time. Mm-hmm. That's huge. Linda?
Well, yeah, psychologists work from the front of the brain back, and modalities come in from the side, and then they get down a few what they call blocks. And we go from the back of the brain forward, and we find that initial, and it's called an active block because it's only one that has the energy to attract in other events into one's life that are similar, and that's where we get the wording repetitive behaviors. Right?
So what's repetitive behavior? When you make a decision to stop smoking and you don't, that's one. When you repeat that decision to stop smoking again, that's two. Now it's a repetitive behavior. Okay? Behavior is not a dis-ease, it's not a disorder, it's a behavior. We all know in the psych world, behavioral health world, the CR world, behaviors can be modified. Once you find the driver that's moving the behavior and neutralize it, it's consistent. That's what we do. That's why we are different. That's why we are here tonight, to give you that information.
Right. And most therapies that are helping you to rid yourself of a habit are working on the cognitive level, and we work below the cognitive level. It's pretty interesting.
So what's that mean in a nutshell? Okay, cognitive is those base thoughts, you know, the stand, you know. Give us a couple of examples. You're good at that. The cognitive area of thought.
Well, like dogs work off that cognitive level. It's behavior modification, and cats are actually below that level. And
so good. So, you know, you can teach a dog to sit. You can also teach a young human being how to hold a fork to feed themselves, how to properly act around other people. Those are behaviors, behavior modifications. Mm-hmm. So that's it for tonight. Thanks for day 2 of 12 days to relief. I'm Terry Earthwind Nichols.
And I'm Linda Vetras Nichols, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
See you tomorrow night.